Winter, 1942. The Volga River, a lifeline of ice and steel, flows past a city consumed by fire and frost. This is Stalingrad. For months, it has been the epicenter of a storm of unimaginable fury, a meat grinder that has chewed up armies and devoured souls. Here, in the frozen heart of Russia, the fate of the world hangs in the balance. This isn't just a battle for a city. It's a brutal, desperate struggle for the very future of Europe. The snow that falls on Stalingrad is stained crimson, a silent testament to one of the deadliest conflicts in the long, dark history of human warfare. After a blitzkrieg that had brought most of Europe to its knees, Adolf Hitler turned his gaze eastward, towards the vast, seemingly endless expanse of the Soviet Union. His ambition was monumental. His plan, twofold. First, to seize the rich oil fields of the Caucasus, the lifeblood that fueled the Soviet war machine. And second, to deliver a crushing psychological blow by capturing the city that bore the name of his nemesis, Joseph Stalin. Hitler was convinced that taking Stalingrad would shatter the morale of the Red Army and break the will of the Soviet people. He believed it would be a symbol of his ultimate triumph. It was a catastrophic miscalculation, a fatal assumption that would set in motion the beginning of his end. By September, the relentless roar of German bombers had become the city's grim soundtrack. The Luftwaffe rained down destruction, turning Stalingrad from a thriving industrial center into a ghostly landscape of rubble and twisted metal. From the air, it looked like a dead city, but it was far from it. Within the ruins, a new kind of warfare was born. The Red Army, defiant and refusing to surrender, transformed the skeletal remains of buildings into impregnable fortresses. Every street corner became a potential ambush point. Every pile of debris, a sniper's nest. The fighting was intimate and savage. Men battled with rifles, grenades, and when those ran out, with shovels, knives, and their bare hands. This was no longer a war of grand maneuvers. It was a primal struggle for survival, fought inch by bloody inch. For months, the German Sixth Army had pushed, and the Soviets had pushed back. The city became a graveyard for both sides. Then, on November 19, 1942, the tables turned dramatically. Under the cover of winter's fury, the Soviets unleashed a masterstroke, a massive, brilliantly executed counteroffensive codenamed Operation Uranus. Two powerful pincer movements, north and south of the city, slammed shut like a gigantic steel trap. In a matter of days, the entire German Sixth Army, the pride of the Wehrmacht, was completely encircled. Over 300,000 Axis soldiers were trapped inside the very city they had come to conquer. Their supply lines were severed. They were cut off, surrounded, and at the mercy of the brutal Russian winter. The hunters had become the hunted. The weeks that followed were a slow, agonizing descent into hell for the trapped German forces. The promised Luftwaffe airlift failed to materialize, delivering only a fraction of the necessary supplies. Food ran out. Men were reduced to eating horses, then dogs, then rats. Ammunition became more precious than gold. Frostbite and starvation claimed thousands. All the while, the Red Army tightened its grip, squeezing the life out of the encircled pocket. From his distant headquarters, Hitler raged, forbidding any attempt to break out and ordering his men to fight to the last man, to the last bullet. He promoted General Paulus to Field Marshal, a cynical gesture as no German field marshal had ever surrendered. But ideology could not defeat starvation. The reality on the ground was one of utter collapse. By the end of January 1943, the end had come. The German forces, reduced to skeletal, frost-bitten remnants, could fight no more. The last pockets of resistance flickered and died. On January 31st, Field Marshal Friedrich Paulus defying Hitler's orders, surrendered. It was a moment of profound shock for the German Reich. The invincible Wehrmacht, the army that had conquered a continent, had been not just defeated, but utterly annihilated. Of the nearly 300,000 men trapped in the Stalingrad pocket, only around 90,000 were left to surrender. And of those, fewer than 6,000 would ever see their homeland again. The myth of German invincibility was shattered forever in the frozen ruins of Stalingrad. The silence that fell over the city in February 1943 was deafening. The battle was over. Stalingrad stood as a testament to human resilience and unimaginable suffering. With an estimated 2 million casualties on both sides, it remains one of the bloodiest battles ever fought. But its significance echoes far beyond the staggering loss of life. Stalingrad was the definitive turning point on the Eastern Front. For the first time, Hitler's war machine had been stopped and decisively thrown back. From this moment on, the strategic initiative belonged to the Red Army. The long, arduous road to Berlin, the final push to destroy the Third Reich, began here, in the ashes and rubble of a city that refused to die. The name Stalingrad would forever be etched in history as the symbol of the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of history's most pivotal moments. If you found this story compelling, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into the events that shaped our world. We'll see you next time.